Today is the day. Gotta try to put some time and attention to this thing. Like I mentioned, the air suspension is just all the way down. And the last few times I tried to start it, at first the back wouldn't go up. The front did. And then just this last time, a few days ago, this side would pump up, but the passenger side was up, so it was leaning. And like I mentioned, tires, I think most of them are good. It's just this passenger one. So yeah, you could tell the side's like really bald. The middle's alright, which is kind of weird. I'm sure there's some information on why it's like that. But I'm gonna try to take that off. And I briefly looked at the spare tire. I can't get that low right now. But the spare tire has some tread, looks like, so I'm gonna use a spare for now. Some of these tires look okay, so use a spare on that side. And then there's been a rattling. I think it's a catalytic converter. So after I change the tire on the other side, I'm gonna try to get underneath and look to see what that rattling is, if I can tighten something, if it's loose, or replace it or something. So there's the video. Like I mentioned, I checked before a few days ago, and now this is popping up on that. I have a thing to plug in to hopefully it'll read it. Plug this down underneath under the dash, connect it to my phone. Hopefully it'll tell me in words or code or something what exactly is going on with that. One thing I was going to mention when I took this off, this weight isn't supposed to move, obviously. It's supposed to balance the tire, and it's moving. So that's kind of weird. What I'm hoping to do is, if I can jack up this side, and there's supposed to be sensors in the suspension to tell the air compressor to pump up air. So I'm hoping just a quick, I don't know, to jack it up, maybe it'll mess with that lever sensor and maybe it'll pump up. We'll see. So I'm gonna be honest, it didn't really do anything. I kind of figured so. They mentioned in that little book service manual thing, I thought I bought a bigger one, but I can't find it, manual or whatever. But it said in here there's the suspension shutoff, so I turned that off for now. I was letting it run. I flipped it on and off a couple times to see if it'll do anything. Now I'm thinking I disconnected the negative, hoping to leave it off for a while, kind of the point behind that is to let the computer like reset if you leave it off for like 15 minutes without power. So that's another little trick or troubleshoot to hopefully the computer will just kind of reset and plug it back in. Hopefully it'll do its thing that it's supposed to. We'll see. So like I mentioned, I'm looking in this little book that came with the truck, and there's like 3 relays or fuses that the air compressor kind of goes to, I guess. So says this table. So first one's here, right there, air suspension compressor relay. The other one, right there. There's a second one, air suspension module. And then over here somewhere, just so you know, I'm kind of going into this a little blind. I don't know a whole lot about it, so I'm trying to figure it out as I go, in a sense, I guess. Here's a third one, air suspension compressor relay. So there's a few fuses or relays I gotta kind of check out. I mean, it gives me an idea at least. Hopefully check those, clean them, make sure those kind of work. Hopefully nothing too major, but I don't know. So I've been kind of striking out so far. I checked all the fuses. There was like 4. Checked the location, took them out. They all looked fine. Attempted to clean them a little bit, but still nothing gave one of them, just a little wiggle. And air compressor isn't kicking on. So last time before this, 2 times ago, let's just go that way. 2 times ago when I first was attempting, when I noticed the suspension, it would turn on, but it was really faint, like it was weak compared to when we first got it. You could tell right away, like, oh, the air compressor's on. But last time I had to like put my ear in this area to see if it's running, and this time it's not even running. And it kind of sucks because it's like right here under the washer fluid. I gotta try to look what wires or where it connects and whatever to see if that is, because I think that might have been going out. Like I mentioned, it wasn't pumping as loud or hard or whatever. So I gotta look into that now. Versus on the suspension, there's supposed to be like a lever so that it senses when it's this low. Then it'll kick the lever on. It'll tell the computer to pump the air compressor to put air to lift it up. This is the update. I didn't get too far besides the tire change, really. Check the fuses. I guess I could cross those off the list. So I'm assuming the next thing I got to do is look at this air compressor to see if it's worth tearing down. Look at the wires and connections to see if I have to get a new compressor. Learn new something every day, they say. I think. Is that still a thing? Anywho, let's see how far I can keep going with this. About time. I think I'm making some headway. Holy crap. So the jack's not on there. So the jack's lowered. It's not supporting. As you can see, it's off the tire. From the last clip, yeah, I could just barely. And you can hear the air compressor. So the air compressor was running. I found another relay that was right next to it. And as you can see, the jack's not on it. And it's pumped up. So, I'm not sure if it's this relay per se, 100%. But I was, making it do what it's supposed to. And air compressor came on. And then I rigged it so it stays on, making it stay on, and boom bam, it pumped up finally. So I'm hoping I'm gonna run to the store, see if they have one of these. God, this focus is crazy. See if they have one of these relays that goes right on the compressor, and fingers crossed that's what the problem is. Geez, this tripod is a good investment. So I got back from the stove. Like I mentioned, I needed this piece, which goes, it's hard to see, but it goes right here. And compressor is right there somewhere. Hard to see. Can I turn the flash on? There we go. There's a compressor. This is like, I think the relay for it or something. This is, like I mentioned, this is the one I had to make do. It's getting dark. Running out of time. Open this up. Boom, bam. New one. Old one. So I'm put the new one in. Put it. Plug it in right here. Make sure it goes the right way. It only goes one way, I think, but still. Plug that on. Clip it back in real quick. Let's see if it does anything. It's kind of hard because I made it turn on. I made it air up. So it's pretty level, I think. I don't know if it'll kick on now. But this was only like 22 or whatever. After tax and everything, it was like 24 and some change. I'm hoping this is it because I was telling the wife, I was like, that's not turning on, because I was checking all the fuses and everything. And then just, you really gotta like diagnose things and test. And luckily I found this one and I was testing it, because that new pump would have been like just over 300. And this is 24, well 25, under 25. So luckily I found this. Big key is to diagnose everything, test things. So I'm gonna turn it on. I don't think it's gonna pump up because, like I said, it's level dirty, but we shall see. I know it might be a little tricky because, the engine's starting, but to me, I don't hear it right now. I'm hopefully, maybe I'll come check tomorrow or something, or within the next few days to see if that was, I'm not saying that was the problem, but, it's a 24 change, so it was enough for me to just buy it to see. So that's it for this so far. Fingers crossed.